Does 0.1 say anything to you? Anyone? Well, it sounds so tiny, so insignificant, like a drop in the ocean. But in fact, it means a lot for all of us. Let me prove it to you. Last year, I joined the expedition to the GGP Glacier in Zarafshon Valley. You can see the picture, I think, right there. I remember standing on the ice that had existed for centuries, feeling both awe at its beauty and fear at its fragility. Unfortunately, it is estimated that the glacier will completely melt within the next 10 to 15 years, like many of others across the country. Just this summer, at the UNFCCC Climate Change Bond Conference, I attended a session about groundbreaking study on glacier mass change. According to the study, every 0.1 degrees of Celsius increase in temperature causes 2% of glacier mass loss globally. And even if we stop global warming right now, around 39% of all glaciers will still be lost. I had witnessed fragility before, in people, in communities, in fleeting seasons of lives. But standing on the glacier, I saw it in the earth itself. That realization that something so seemingly permanent, that outlived generations, is now fading before ours struck me deeply. It was a humbling reminder of how delicate our now truly is. Well, from the glacier, there is a bigger picture. According to the UN Environmental Programme, Tajikistan is home to roughly 14,000 glaciers, which are critical water source for millions of people in Central Asia. However, more than 1,000 glaciers have entirely disappeared just in recent decades. When glaciers shrink, it's not abstract. Entire agri-food systems, the drinking water supply, the seasons on which people depend, all change. Fragility isn't a distant concept. It's already here, shaping our lives, especially the lives of the remote mountain communities that live in close connection with the nature, where every change in environment shapes the rhythm of life. I grew up in Dushanbe, where environmental protection was rarely talked and discussed at school, where nature felt distant, not urgent. My journey truly started here in Horog 9 years ago when I was pursuing my bachelor's degree in global economics. That's where my worldview, my goals, and my sense of purpose started to shift. During my studies, I established a student environmental club called Green Community. Maybe some of you have heard about. At the time, it was just a small group of students who cared about the environment. We organized awareness and cleaning campaigns, introduced recycling on campus, and launched early educational program for the children from the local community. We didn't have a significant institutional support or funding, but we had something so much stronger, a belief. And this belief has inspired the next generation of UCA students to carry on the initiatives. Our the Green Community members are here now today with us. Well, the Green Community taught me the lesson that I carry with me throughout my life. The real change always starts small. It starts in the classrooms, in conversation, in small actions that ripple outward. It showed me that transformation doesn't always start with a policy or power, but with people choosing to act instead of waiting for someone else to take the first step. That experience shaped the foundations of everything I have done since. I have never been afraid to explore new paths, and that also paved my career. I work with numerous organizations, from UN agencies to consultancy firms to the Intergovernmental Fund on Saving the RLC. Each position gave me the experience, the expertise, but none of them gave me the sense of belonging. Well, that changed when I joined the Little Earth. I firstly connected with the organization when I was in my senior year and was instantly drawn to the mission of the organization, to its people and values. I thought that I truly found the place where I belong. Thanks to nomination of Little Earth, I was accepted to the International Program on Sustainable Mountain Management, organized by Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in Italy. After spending there almost 2 months, I came back home inspired with a new clear goal: to join the FAO. And surprisingly, when I opened job postings, I saw a position opening and I applied immediately. After a month, I was invited for a test, then for the interview, passed them successfully, and received the offer. Yeah, I think many of you can relate because it felt like a start of the UN career. By the way, I was just 23 at that time. But very soon, I realized that my dream job doesn't align with my values. I found myself in a large bureaucratic system where passion and purpose were slowly replaced by manual procedures. So I made one of the hardest choices. After a year working with FAO, I terminated my contract. I returned to Little Earth not because it was easier, but because it felt meaningful. I have been mainly working on awareness raising projects and advocacy. Nonetheless, I have always believed finding balance between advocacy and practical grassroots actions. That's when I started to joining the field missions to remote mountain communities, working directly with people, and that's exactly where everything clicked. One of our recent and most meaningful project is in Yagnob Valley. It started with a simple yet transformative idea to empower young mountain women as an agent of change and catalyst of a just energy transition. Through this project, 50 women from 11 villages were trained in sustainable natural resource management and in using green technologies, from solar cookers to energy efficient stoves. In 2024, our project received a prestigious International Gender Just Climate Solution Award. But it wasn't about the trophy that mattered. It was about what it stood for. It was for the women who have transformed their lives through innovation, resilience, and empowerment. Women who faced their fragility, embraced it, and turned it into the power. For us at Little Earth, it was another proof that leadership and dedication of a small grassroots organization can drive real, lasting change. It shows that local gender-sensitive solutions are not small, they are powerful, scalable, and deeply human. Each time I visit Yagnob, I can see the change, not in reports or statistics, but in real people's life. Where once smoke fills the air, there are now smokeless solar cookers. Where nights were dark, home now glow with solar lights. Hot water for bathings come easily from portable solar bags and community solar heater. These small innovations have brought a big relief for the women, lightening their daily workloads and giving them time for themselves and their families. For many of them, the change went even further. During our study tours to Aini, for the most of the women, their first time ever leaving their villages, they discovered new possibilities and returned with the idea to establish the first community center in Yagnob. Together we built a solar-powered sewing center, the first of its kind in Sukht region and second one in the whole Tajikistan, that we built, by the way, 10 years ago in Bartang Valley. For local women, it is now a place of creative skills, creativity, and connection. There they learn not just sewing techniques, but also obtain the skills that can provide them with independent income and a hobby. That work taught me that the word grassroots should be redefined in our minds. Rather than small scale, it means meaningful, built on trust, inclusivity, collaboration, resilience, and illustrating the real change in a system. These experiences has taught me that fragility has two sides. On one side, it reminds us how quickly things can be lost. Glaciers, forests, traditions, and even hope. But on the other hand, fragility also reminds us how powerful the present moment is, how much still can be done if we choose to act now. Continuing my advocacy efforts, I serve as a board member of Climate Action Network, closely following climate decision making. I participate in international conferences like Conference of the Parties to bring local stories into global decision-making arenas. In those spaces, I try to make sure that voices of mountain communities, of women, of young people are heard, and to show that climate change is our reality and the grassroots actions are already leading transformation in the system. Well, in my mind, I often return to that glacier, to its silent beauty and warning. It stands in my memory like a mirror, reflecting everything we stand to lose, but also everything we still have power to protect. I think about our work at Little Earth, a small team, a few passionate people, often working with limited resources, but limitless determination. Yes, the glacier may disappear within the next 15 years. Nonetheless, the relationships, the knowledge, the action we build today will define whether the coming years are defined by loss or by transformation and resilience. Well, so I invite you in this case. Don't wait for the grand policies or perfect plans. Change doesn't start in the conference rooms. It starts in the classroom, on campus, in mountain village, in choices we make each day. Look around you. Support the local initiative, talk to your peers, your community, believe in the power of people, trust the leadership of women. Because the fragility of now, it's not just the warning, it's also a window of possibility. This is exactly the moment that asks each of us what we will do with the time that remains. Because the fragility of now is also the power of the present. The power to rethink, to restore, and to reimagine the future we still have time to build. So I thank you.